So let's discuss another problem in classical mechanics. So a particle of mass m slides on the inside of a frictionless vertical cone as shown. The apex half angle of the cone is theta, and if the path of the particle is a circle and the speed of the particle is v, then the radius of the circular path so described. So this is the cone, and inside this cone, so this is the entire cone, and inside this cone the particle is circulating, moving in a circular path, and this is the angle, apex angle of this cone. So the apex half of the angle, so this is the angle of this cone they have given, and the particle is moving. So what we need to moving in a circular path, and it is moving with velocity v without falling down, and in this cone is frictionless, so we need to avoid frictional force. And what we have to find out is radius of this circular path. So that particle is keeping on moving inside this cone without falling down. So we have to find what is that particular path, particular radius of this circle in which the object is moving in a circular path. So this is the cone, and this is the angle of the cone, and the particle is moving in a circular path like this. It is moving. So here if we see the particle is moving, so let us consider the particle is here for this time. So now we need to draw a free body diagram, that is what are all the forces acting on this particle. So gravitational force would act vertically downwards, always acts vertically downwards, and normal force is a contact force. As the particle is in contact with this cone, so it would create a normal force, normal to the surface. So this is a surface, normal to this surface is this 90 degrees. So this surface is like this, so its normal would be in this manner. So this is the normal to this surface. So if you see, this is the straight line and normal to this. So the normal to the surface would be like this, and normal force would act in this manner, and here weight would act in this manner. So now we need to resolve these components. So here already, so let's imagine this. So this is a line, and these two lines are parallel, and this theta and this theta would be same. So here angle is theta, here also the angle would be theta, as these two lines are parallel. And next thing is, now let's draw a perpendicular line to this line. So this is mg, so this would be the perpendicular line. So here what we will get is, here this is theta and this is 90 minus theta, because overall the angle is right angle triangle. So if this angle is theta, and this angle should be 90 minus theta, because 90 minus theta plus theta is equals to 90. Overall angle should be 90 degrees. And here again this is theta. This angle is also theta. Why means, so this is theta, this is 90 minus theta, overall 90 degrees. And this is theta, this is 90 minus theta means this is also, this is theta, because this line is perpendicular to this line. So here the overall angle must be 90 degrees, as it is 90 minus theta, this angle, as this angle is 90 minus theta, so this angle, definitely this angle must be theta. So now let's resolve these components. So here this is normal force, so normal force, and this is angle theta means, so this would be n cos theta, and this would be n sin theta. Same here also, in the same manner, here there will be n cos theta, and here it would be n sin theta in this direction. And here if you see, this is mg cos theta. So mg is like this, vertically downwards, and this is the angle theta. So this would be mg cos theta, this is mg, and this would be mg sine theta. So like this. So this is mg cos theta, and so if we resolve here also, we would be having mg cos theta and mg sin theta like that, but we don't want to resolve that one. So resolving this n cos theta and n sin theta is enough, because mg is balanced with this n sin theta, and n cos theta would be balanced with mv square by r, that radial force. So the only forces acting on the particle are the normal force due to contact between surface of the cone and the particle and its weight. Drawing free body diagram. So which the diagram which we have discussed. So the if we zoom out that diagram, this would be the case. So here the particle was there. So vertically downwards gravitational force, and normal force perpendicular to the surface. So this is the normal force, and this is theta. From that diagram we had, so two parallel lines. So here the angle was theta, so here also the angle must be theta, and this is 90 minus theta. So we are resolving this normal force into its component forces, that is like this manner. So here 1, here 1. So this is nothing but n cos theta, and this is nothing but n sin theta components resolved into, after resolving into components. So if we observe, so this is the overall diagram we would have in practical case overall. So now under the action of n and mg, the particle accelerates and it goes in a circular path. So because of this gravitational force and this contact normal force, the particle accelerates and it moves in a circular path. So these two forces would support the particle to go in a circular path. Since it goes in a circle, the acceleration is directed radially inverse. So as the particle is moving in a circle, so its acceleration would be directed radially inverse. So if we see here, so this is n cos theta. So this would be balanced with mv square by r force, that is nothing but this n cos theta is equals to mv square by r, and that is radial force. N cos theta is also mv square by r, and here from the diagram, this is n sin theta, this is n cos theta. So n sin theta is balanced with gravitational force, that is weight of the object, that is nothing but mg. So n sin theta is equals to mg. So this is from the diagram we would have the following equations. So mg is balanced with n sin theta, a component n sin theta component of n, and this cosine component of n is balanced with mv square by r because of the radial force. This is circle, so radially inwards or outwards like that. So radial force, it is balanced with centripetal or centrifugal forces we would be having. So like that, those it is balanced with this radial force because it is in circular motion. And n sin theta is equals to mg, and where r is the radius of the circular path. So here r is nothing but mv square by r. As the particle is moving in circular motion, immediately it would have radial forces. So from that we are having r, radius of the circular path. So eliminating n. So what we have to do is, let us consider this is equation 1 and this is equation 2. So 2 by 1, if we do 2 by 1, so 2 by 1, what we would get, n sin theta on the left hand side, n sin theta by n cos theta, n would get cancelled, sin theta by cos theta is nothing but tan theta. And on the right hand side, mv square by r by mg. So mv square by r by mg, what we would get is mv square by r into 1 by mg. So mm would get cancelled, v square by rg would remain. So v square actually we need to divide mg by mv square by r. So equation 2 by equation 1. So mg by mv square by r, what we would get is mg by mv square into r. So here we are having it. So mg by mv square whole, so first mg divided by mv square by r. So this r would go up, so would get cancelled, and what would remain is rg by v square. So RG by V square. So tan theta is nothing but, so on the left hand side tan theta, on the right hand side you will get RG by V square. So if we send V square this side and G also that side, so V square by G. So overall radius of the circle would become R is also tan theta by G into V square. So this is nothing but radius of the required circle in which the particle is moving. So thank you.